Hello everyone, this is Blankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Last time I did the side bang, and as always, those side bangs are pretty hard. But I think it is done, I think it still looks good. So I'm going to go back to working on this little piece that kind of sits underneath the side bangs here. I got a lot of that where I wanted it, but I think it still needs a couple of adjustments here and there. But yeah, I moved around her head a lot and checked the side bang pretty thoroughly, and I couldn't actually see anything that I wanted to fix on it, so that was pretty nice. With as often as I tend to find a thing or two that I want to fix, I was actually pretty surprised that there wasn't this time. Certainly not complaining, though. So, let's get this little piece in there, and then I'm just gonna go back to cleaning up other areas. I checked most of the other areas on the right side, and I didn't actually see anything that I felt was terribly out of place. So it just tells me that if I just make everything a little bit less crunchy and smooth everything out, then it should all be good. So, it's getting there. I know I want to revisit the upward turns, but this is, like, the last big area that I still have to work on, so it's very exciting. We're getting there. Soon the head turns will finally be done. So here I was never really satisfied with the relative smoothness of various things here. I always thought that it looked a little bit jagged, so I'm just giving it a little bit more attention. Making things look extra nice. It's like I've come this far, let's just make everything super shiny. Okay, yeah, that's looking much smoother than it was before. Okay. Now I'm gonna smooth out over here. I'm just doing the easy sides first. Just so that this way I know that I'm happy with the location of the shadow underneath the side bang here, and well, so far so good there. Actually, I might need to clean up here just a little bit more. But yes, I just wanted that shadow to be in a good spot before I started cleaning up the lower right. Considering everything looks good, I know the location is fine. It's just easier to tell that everything is looking nice when everything around it is also looking nice. So I finished the current Path to Nowhere event this morning, and it was okay. I think this was one that went a little bit harder on the waifu bait than I personally enjoy. So, it was cute, but I don't know, I felt the story was a little bit weaker than it tends to be from this game. But it was certainly sweet. Thematic for what the game likes to talk about and all that good stuff. Hello, Luminance. Yes. My morning has been pretty good so far. How are you doing today? Just going in and smoothing out the hair here. Excellent. Just want to get rid of all the little wrinkly bits in the hair here. And I was looking around at various other parts of her hair here, and I think the right side on the lower right is all like in the right place. I just kind of need to clean it up and make everything smooth. So that's what I'll be doing today. Just gonna make everything pretty. Yeah, I mentioned it in the messages on Twitter, but yeah, it's nice. Somebody else already requested something for me to draw this weekend, so I'll probably do that next weekend. Unless I happen to feel like doing a speed paint in the week. We shall see. But yeah, I think I actually remember seeing the exact picture that you sent me. I forget where, but I'm pretty sure I saw it, and I thought it was pretty cool. Interesting little trend that was going on for a little while there. I think I still have a few porcelain dolls stored somewhere. I never ended up taking them out of their initial boxes, because I didn't want the tiny ones to get their hands on them. I'm sure my older one would love to play with them, but that's kind of the problem. She tends to be a bit rough with her toys. Okay, so I think that's most of this straightened out here. So now let's take a look at that shadow. Get this little shadow area all looking very nice. And then I'll be ready to move back onto the lower right corner. Looks like I didn't move the shadow around too much, so for the most part it's still pretty okay. Now that I'm looking at it again, I'm not quite sure if I like this very top part. What's the worst day of my life? Like, what happened a long time ago? Oof. Let's see. I'm not sure how much detail I should go into that, because, some things there were kind of hardcore. But I guess for stuff that I can talk about, I had a pretty rough time with schooling in general. I ended up not finishing high school. I started university early, and even then, I still just really did not like it. So I had a pretty hard time with all that, and I got really depressed, and then I was having some really nasty health issues on top of that. So it was a pretty perfect storm of just complete mess. So I'd say that was probably the worst time of my life. Yep. That's what I say. It's probably a little bit too hardcore to talk about on stream, but I can talk in broad strokes. It's okay. Life is hard. And I think that will always be the case. But I do think life gets better as you get older, because you have more control over your life. You can decide what bullshit to tolerate in order to further your own goals, rather than just tolerating what other people tell you you have to, because they say so. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's already looking a little bit better. So now I'll just clean this up a little bit, and hopefully all will be well. I was just talking about at the beginning of the stream how I didn't see anything that was bothering me immediately. Took me looking a little bit more closely at how this top part of her side bang was connecting up there to notice that perhaps I should fix that up a little bit. And now I just kind of want to adjust the shapes kind of on the top part there. And yeah, I just need this part up at the top to be a little bit more rounded out. And then I think all should be well. Yeah, and I actually kind of like how the highlight on there is growing a little bit as it goes down. Looks like the light is hitting the top of her head a little bit more, so I think that looks pretty good. Maybe not so much on how it is, on how the highlight's moving relative to the lower turn though, so that I will adjust just a little bit here. Maybe just bring this corner down just a little bit. There we go, let's try that. Okay, yeah, that should be fine once I fix up the shadow. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's go fix up that little underneath part now. Just right over here. Gotta straighten out the edge first, like I've been doing. Just because I prefer doing it that way. Yeah, there we go. Now everything is just rounding out much more nicely. So that should be all good. Just need to click off the vertices to really be able to check it, and I can see that I missed a spot, like, right through there. Got a little wobble. Little wobble. It's just hard because after a while the vertices near the bottom just start getting really close to each other, so it becomes a bit difficult to move them properly. So today my husband and I finished our Factorio Space Age run, and man, that was quite a ride. We finished it off with getting the meme achievements, which would be eating a legendary fish and getting hit by a train. Getting hit by the train is just the perfect way to finish off any Factorio run, in my opinion. The legendary fish was incredibly silly, though, because see, the way Factorio works, or at least the expansion here, is they added a feature that makes it so you have a chance of getting a higher quality version of whatever item that you're making. So in this case, it would be a fish, and legendary would be the highest quality. So there's just a meme achievement of eating a top quality fish. Wasn't as painful as I thought it would be, actually. So we had built up a ton of stuff to give us better RNG for the quality, and my husband generally has good gacha luck, so we were able to get it pretty fast. But yeah, it was a pretty fun game. It's one of those games where if you look up the description of it and have any interest in like city building games or that kind of thing, and if the description of it sounds interesting, you will probably like it. Very solidly designed game. I think the base game maybe had better fundamental design, but the expansion is still very, very good. Kept us busy for like months. And not just busy, but actually, like, genuinely engaged. Very focused on what we were doing. I feel like a lot of games today may offer a fun diversion, something that can eat your time, but... A cat hand. Did you let your cat push the button? Was it a good roll? Was the cat lucky? Oh, lovely. Good job, cat. Look, you never know with cats. Sometimes they can be kind of trolls. Excellent. Good job, cat. I hope you gave her some extra pettings and maybe a treat for that. Huh, I never actually fixed the shadow part up here. Well, I should do that. Alright, time to line this little piece up with the lower turn. That explains why it all looks so stretched out. Then I just need to raise that up a little bit. Gonna line all of this up with the lower turn. I thought I had already done that, so that's why I went into cleaning it up, but I should have checked first. Because it is most definitely not in the right spot here. I think it is relative to the right turn, so left-right is fine. It just needs to be a little bit higher up. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. I've been working more on putting together some stuff for my comic idea. Actually, like, getting down and writing the first draft. And I gotta say, I sympathize with people that are trying to develop a routine with their creative stuff. Because, man, is it really hard to get started. It's like I had done the same thing with art so long ago that I'd kind of forgotten how hard it can be. Now I'm trying to do the same thing with writing, and it's like, oh man. Just trying to get myself to type out 100 words every day it's hard. That's why my goal for now is just do 1 word every day. Start small, so I can keep up with 1 word, and as long as I get 1 down, I can generally type a lot more. Just forcing myself to do anything at all is at least making me think about what's going on here, and it often means that I'm thinking hard enough that I can get past whatever tough spot that I was in the day before that made me want to stop. But yes, getting started with it is really hard. It's like I'm flexing new brain muscles I didn't know I had. So they are both creative, writing and drawing are very different. I feel like they use very different parts of my brain. And the writing part of my brain is not used to it yet. It's all good, though, because I know that as long as I keep doing it, it'll get easier. It was the same with when I was trying to draw more often. When I was developing that simple routine there. But eventually I got the endurance for it. And now, yeah, it's no problem at all. I can just kind of go. So I trust that eventually the same thing will happen with writing. Which is good, because if I keep writing the story at the pace that I'm in, I will never finish it. Just kind of how it is. And I'm just giving myself some time to get used to it. Honestly, now that I think about it, I think something similar has been happening with rigging. I used to be super tired after just about an hour when I was doing stuff on stream. But now I feel like I can probably go longer if I want to. I'm not like dying at the end of stream anymore. It's like, hey, the brain adapts. It adapts to whatever challenges you give it. So as long as you're not lazy, things get better. And at least in my experience, the brain will want to be lazy. It'll try to find the most efficient route. And it'll try to claim that, you know, we could totally do some other stuff for whatever bit of satisfaction that you want. Stuff that's easier. But if you want to draw the thing, or write the thing, or whatever else you might want to make, you gotta sit your brain in the corner and tell it to be quiet. Tell it to stop complaining. Do it enough times and it starts to listen to you. It's pretty magical. Alright, I think I got these shadows back into place. I was noticing when I was checking the lower turn and moving it over to the lower right that it felt like the top of the side bang was actually moving back to the left, so I was like, okay, we'll move the whole thing a click or two to the right. And indeed, that made it look much better. Alright. I lied, the shadows aren't quite right yet. Gotta go fix them up. Let's go. Also gonna stretch these vertices up here a little bit because the shadows were looking a little bit compressed. And then, now that I look at it, the very top here, some of these vertices were not in the right spot. Oh, there we go. That's looking a little bit better. How does it look when I go from the center to the right now? Need to lower this highlight just a touch. Just a touch. And there we go. Yes, that is much better. Okay. And over here looks good, and over here looks good. Okay, we're good. So now I'm just gonna go... Whew. Swallowed wrong. Okay. Just gonna go and, clean up all the stuff that I was moving around before. Some of that is in the right, some of the bottom, and a bunch in the lower right. But I do feel like all this stuff is in the right place. We'll see if I still agree as I start cleaning all this up. But for now, I think I can afford to just make everything look nice. Okay, let's see here. This strand, I feel like the transition from the... where there's 3 rows of dots down to 2 is just a little bit crunchy right there. Okay, that's better. Didn't take much to fix, fortunately. But sometimes I feel like I have a little bit of trouble adjusting this area right through there. And then I actually do not like the way things are looking right over here. Let me separate those a little bit just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. But there's this dark shadow right through here. And it was actually kind of crunchy. I must have moved this around when I was getting everything into place and just never fixed it. So I wasn't looking for problems on the right head turn so much. Yeah, there's lots of little things through here that's moving a little bit weirdly, isn't there? Let's just straighten out those triangles. Yeah, there we go. That should be a little bit better. Okay. Still something a little bit off in this kind of light spot in the underneath area under here. It's fairly minor though, so I'm just gonna hopefully do a quick fix over here. Line that up, and I never realized just how incredibly derpy the mesh movements for this is. Let's put that back up there. How the heck did it even get so far down there? Yeah, I'm not quite happy with how these two areas are lining up right through there. Let us consult the mesh here. What is making all of that freak out? Okay, I see. Okay, at this point I might just be getting into perfectionist territory, so I'm gonna zoom out and see if that spot that I think looks bad is even visible. Not really. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it then. It's like I could, but why? That sounds like it'd just be a lot of extra work for no apparent reason. Surprisingly hard to move anything in there. I didn't mesh things around the various characteristics of it. I figured that just surrounding it and then that would be fine because I could just move everything inside, but this may be perhaps not the best way to go about things. Okay, I think that's fine now. So now I'm going to take another look at this part right up there. Because there was a couple of areas where, yeah, I'm not quite sure about the movement on it. So let's see what I can figure out. Doesn't look like it'll necessarily be too hard. I think this shadow area is just sticking out a little bit too much. That all depends on how well it lines up with the bottom turn, and that seems fine. How is it along the diagonal? Is that a good spot? Yep. Okay, every angle is totally satisfied with that small change. So now I should be able to just go in and make it all look nice. Get it all nice and clean. I'll just go ahead and go all the way down here. I'll have to decide if I feel like going and doing the Strand from Hell today. I probably will. I don't see any real reason to procrastinate on that today, with as well as everything's been going so far. It's been pretty cool to try to finish as much of the right side of her hair as I can today. Now that everything is kind of in place, I'm gonna go ahead and hide the side bang here. We'll just have a casual floating ear, it's fine. Totally fine. Just maybe slightly distracting. But it's okay, I'm used to it. Okay, now let's come back up here and get this part looking a little bit smoother. I've always found this area annoying, just due to how the curve shakes out. It's really hard to get rid of all the crunchy spots through it. That's probably good enough here. Let's see, the top I think is still a little bit weird, so let's go ahead and poke at that just a little bit here. I want to get everything as smooth as possible. Alright, I think that's almost there. There's just a little spot, like, right there. Okay. Now everything should be all straightened out. Okay, I made the tips of this little strand here thicker down at the bottom, so gotta squeeze these vertices back together. The strand was too thick. Hopefully I can get those back into place, because I've always found trying to adjust the width on these two rows of vertices mesh. It can be a little bit tricky. I tend to move things around a little bit more than I would like. Alright, let's test this one out. Okay, the diagonal says right here is no good. I'm not quite sure I'm going to fix that, but I will do my best. Let's try some things. Something about the curve right there was no good. Which does mean I will have to fix the curve, like, going all the way down. That's alright. I will try to do that as well. Yeah, man, there's just something about the way things curve right through here that's just weird, and I don't know what's going on. That's alright. Let's just keep trying things until something works out. Words to live by. Alright, we're going nuclear option here. We're gonna get a big brush and kinda push this just a little bit here. I'm not concerned about the strand behind it poking through for the time being. I'm just trying to get that curve looking a little bit better. At least I'm pretty sure it's that strand. Let me make sure it's not the connecting hair here, because that area is like right next to it. Aha, it is. Okay. So I dislike something that's going on right through there. Over here seems fine. Okay. Well, first things first, let's go ahead and tuck all of this underneath the strand that it needs to be behind. Get that out of there. Okay. Now then, let's figure out what I was disliking about right over there. Okay, I think I see it, actually. Now that I've identified the right strand that I needed to be looking at, it's actually pretty straightforward. The angle on the highlight was pointing downward when it shouldn't have been. Yep, and now, because I moved the strand around so much, it's no longer in the right place, so we'll take the big brush and put it back over. It just goes to show how important it is to know what the problem actually is and not what you think it is. Sometimes perceptions do not line up with reality. One of the many reasons life is hard. Alright, and indeed, I think that area is looking pretty okay. So let's go ahead and get started on the Strand from Hell. Fortunately, most of this seems pretty okay. Just a couple of little spots that I want to straighten out. Yeah, in fact, everything over here seems alright, at least so far. Bottom turn. Did I want to adjust anything here? Nope, seems fine. Okay. Over here we go. And actually, I should zoom out all the way and make sure I like everything all the way down to the tip before I start cleaning. Oh yeah, it looks like I did indeed take care of all of that already. Okay, so straighten things out kind of on that outer edge there. I don't want to go all the way down to the tip yet because the tip scares me, so I'm gonna stick with up here until I get it all the way I want it, and then I'll work my way down. Okay, yeah, that layer is just generally kind of wavy. Wanted to make sure that this area just looked kind of wavy, and it wasn't me needing to clean something up. I think it's good. Alright, got some mesh consulting I need to do. The way the highlight's moving right through here is, I don't think it looks very good, so I'm gonna go try to fix that up. I think this one needed a little bit of adjustment on both the right and the lower right. That does happen sometimes. Okay, that actually fixed a large portion of it, but there's still a little bit left. And I think it is this vertex right here. Just need to more evenly space these little vertices right here. And then I think all should be well. As always, the mesh has great ideas. That's why I like to ask what it thinks sometimes. It's amazing how intelligent just a few triangles can be. Alright, this is another area where I want to consult the mesh. Make sure I have everything right in the right head turn as well, before I start comparing it to the lower right. There we go. Hopefully that'll make them line up a little bit more nicely. Yeah, I think so. I think that's much better. Now I'm using the lower head turn to kind of line things up vertically. Because I felt like a couple of areas were just a tad too high. So I'm going ahead and lowering all of that into place. Wonderful. Looking pretty good, I think. Let's see, the diagonal showed me that there's still something a little bit off here. And I do think that the diagonal is very, very important here. Alright, I think that's okay. There we go. So just... well, I'd say one more strand, but for whatever reason, my brain was just pretending like all of this doesn't exist. But that's fine. We'll pretend it doesn't exist for a little bit longer because I decided I want to do this strand first. Because I think here's looking pretty good. I just, you know, adjustments, cleaning, all that good stuff. Just need to smooth it out and make it look nice. The pixels are looking a little bit stretched out here, so I wanted to move the vertices a little bit closer together here. So I started by moving the central ones up, and then the outer ones down. And this was another case where I had to decide which angle was more correct, and I felt like the lower right was correct. So this area wasn't lining up quite right, so needed to adjust one of them. And because I thought the lower right was doing it a little bit better, well, here we are. We're making some adjustments to the right turn. Just letting this little strand peek out just a little bit more. Turns out this strand was not quite as shy as making it out to be, and wanted to show off a little bit more of itself, which is totally fine. I'll go ahead and go down the strand here, though. We'll see if I change my mind. But, the strand is always very scary. Oh boy. Okay, no. I changed my mind already. Strand is too scary for me. I think I will do that next time. But, yeah, I got most of the right side of her head done. Just need to do this strand, and... So I guess tomorrow will probably be this strand, and here, this side bang. I will be surprised if I have time for more. But who knows, maybe the side bangs will just be very kind to me for once. Regardless, thank you all for coming, and I hope you were able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.